All right, boys, this is PBS Space-Time. What if light was not constant, according to these guys? Everyone ready?
According to this guy and mainstream media, you mean?
Yeah, and the
Got it.
people who pay him to have a belief system. Yep. All right, here we go.
Right.
Fundamental physics facts is that the speed of light in a vacuum is constant for all observers. But can we really be sure that the speed of light wasn't different in the past, or perhaps in other parts of the universe? In fact, variable speed of light theories have long been used to try to explain
this is
everything from
21
dark
minutes
energy
long.
to gravity itself.
Yeah,
I didn't think
Let's
it would
explore
be that
how
long.
constant this fundamental constant really is. Speed is relative. Drop your smoothie on a train and it appears to fall straight down, but to me, standing on the platform, the smoothie falls diagonally, apparently boosted by the speed of the train. But shine a laser beam from that train and everyone observes the same speed, 299,792,458 meters per second in a vacuum, no matter their relative speeds. The invariance of
What do you think Wang would have to say about that, Shane? You think he would say that the velocity of the observer is proportional to the delay in which they'll receive the light, according to the math that an experiment that he did in 2004?
Oh shit, huh?
Yeah.
the speed of
Let's
light is more
see.
precisely described by something called Lorentz invariance, and it's the founding axiom of special
Whoa.
relativity. Einstein realized that our measurements of distance and time have to be relative to the observer. They have to shift to keep the speed of light the same for everyone. This same axiom is also fundamental to general relativity, in which gravity is interpreted as a warping of the fabric
Oh, dude, so it's like,
Even when you just say it like regularly as not a joke, it's very amusing.
dude, they just bend the coordinate system to the speed of light. I mean, obviously, it makes sense.
of space-time. Both special and general relativity have been tested with extreme care and precision over and have never failed. More to the point, the speed of light has been measured in different reference frames, and its invariance holds down to the exquisite precision of current methods. That said, we scientists are supposed to
Dude, these people are nuts, bro.
What? But I guess you can just say stuff like that.
You can
and
literally
discount-
just say it. Yeah. PBS, bro. Well, this is 1 hour ago. Yo, bro.
Oh, this is brand new.
Yo,
Sounds like someone's upset over what you presented to the internet, Alan. The internet is
Bro.
striking back.
bro. Are they really? This is crazy. This is
They just
actually
say it.
nuts. No. But like this is so specific, bro.
I know. It is weird.
Like this dude is like literally. Wow. Okay, we have to watch the rest
You
of this.
can do. You're recording this, right? So this is your response video to his video.
I am, but like I don't want it to be like, wow, I'm so blown away by this, but it's actually kind of crazy that Yeah.
All right. Smurf.
yeah, we're
All
continuing,
right,
Smurf. Yep.
remain simultaneously skeptical and open-minded, somehow applying both mindsets to both old and new theories. So,
He's
in
just
that
muddying
spirit,
the water
let's ask
now.
whether the speed of
Let's
light is
be-
really invariant. For example, could it change over time or be different in different parts of the universe?
These are the wrong fucking
There are
questions.
some who believe that the very effects
correct
that relativity
question-
predicts
Well, he
Could it be
already
different in a wrong direction? Could it be different in a different direction?
he already did the most damage control possible when he said that it's been verified in other reference frames.
it's
But it
been
explicit-
verified
it-
over and over again.
Yeah, and it explicitly is shown that it's not in said reference frame.
Well, he didn't say how it was shown to be absolutely shown that it
True.
was true. He just said it and then moved on really quickly.
But that'll be enough for people to be like, but the guy with the "Be Quiet, the devs will notice" shirt said that that it's invariant. And so
I think this has
and so now see
stuff
now
on the three-body problem too. I used his video on that too.
yeah. Well, now he's already segued to an entirely different subject where they're like, it's already verified by us in this current time frame, but what about in the past or the future, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like he's
it's
already,
dude.
dude,
What do you
this
call it? A
is-
super red herring. He's like, yeah, we
Yeah.
know that it doesn't change. Let's look and see if other instances where we think it wouldn't change. Like, what?
exactly, dude. This is fascinating, bro.
are due to
21
the speed
minutes.
of light changing, not due to changes in space and time themselves. Now, before I start talking about what it means for the speed of light to change, I want to make it clear why many and perhaps most physicists think that it's not only impossible, but it's not even meaningful to think about a variable speed of light. The speed of light
Whoa,
isn't
dude.
really about
It's not even
light.
meaningful.
It's the speed
Bro.
of any massless particle, and also the maximum speed that information can travel. It's the speed of causality. It's the rate at which one point in space can communicate with its
Triple, double
neighbors,
down.
assuming no impediments. So to change
Yeah, this is so they just posted this an hour ago. Finally, an episode discussing space time, but not space. Well, turns out C is variant. All right, enjoy.
Change the speed of light, we'd need to change something pretty fundamental about the universe, the connection between space and time. We measure speed in terms of the amount of distance traveled per unit of time, whether that's miles per hour or meters per second. Changing the speed of light means changing the number of meters it can travel every second. The problem with this is that our very definition of meters and of seconds are tied to the speed of light. We can think of the meter as the distance light travels in 1/300 million seconds, or we can think of the second as how
Plus or
long it takes
minus.
light to travel 300 million meters.
He's just
Einstein
kicking up
said
the
that
shoals to muddy the
time is
water
what-
right now.
Yeah.
Like, how can we really
Well-
measure it? And what are really units? And how do you measure it? And what is time really? It's like, okay, but you're just skating away from the main issue, which you totally lied about and then just moved on like slick, dude. I don't know.
So
Time
weird.
is what clocks measure.
Clocks
Isn't
measure,
it, dude?
which we can interpret as meaning that time is a measure of the rate of change of the universe. One of Einstein's thought experiments was the photon clock, in which he imagined a photon bouncing between two mirrors, and each two-way trip indicates a tick of the clock. So what happens if we slow the speed of light? The clock ticks more slowly, which means time slows. Now, real clocks are made of gears or electronics, which are made of atoms, which are made of various quantum oscillations bound up in ways
God.
analogous to the photon clock.
Yeah, buddy.
Whether electrons communicating virtual photons with a nucleus, or
Oh my
quarks
God.
exchanging gluons
Virtual
in that nucleus.
photons and
This argument
gluons,
applies
oh my
for
God.
any object with mass.
Holy sh-
The speed of light dictates the rate of internal change, which determines the rate of the flow of time for all matter. So, if slowing light also slows time, would we even notice? Not according to special relativity, in which space and time are fundamentally coupled, two sides of the same coin. Changing the speed of light slows time, and moving the mirrors further apart also slows time. In this picture, distance, time, and the speed of light scale together. So on our scale, there's no observable effect. The speed of light is just the unit conversion factor between our arbitrary choices of spatial and temporal units. The only way for a change in the speed of light to do anything is if time and space both have their own fundamental units that are independent of each other. If there's a basic smallest unit of space and a smallest
Yeah, it's almost like space and time aren't the same thing.
unit of time and these don't depend on each other, then maybe changing the speed of light would change the relationship between space and time, at least on the quantum scale. So let's imagine this is possible and explore the consequences. The first real variable speed of light, or VSL theory, was proposed by Robert Dicke back in 1957. Dicke was a brilliant physicist and astronomer with wide-ranging contributions, so we should at least pay attention to his musings. Dicke wondered if gravitational fields
silly,
weren't
childish
due to
musings.
the bending of space-time, but instead due to the speed of light slowing down near massive objects. Remember that light changes its direction as it moves into a medium where its speed is lower. That's exactly how lenses work. So why not gravity too? And we know that time does tick slower in a gravitational field. And we now know that slowing the speed of light should slow time. It seems like a variable speed of light could be an elegant alternative hypothesis, no? No. Back in 1957, there were only a few successful tests of general relativity, and some of those were consistent with either space-time curvature or a changing speed of light. But nowadays, we know that space-time itself must be dynamic. We've measured how rotating masses drag space around and how colliding black holes generate gravitational waves.
Man, the stuff that they get to say, bro.
We've measured all this and proved it as absolute fact.
They've measured this.
Rotating masses drag space around, speed of light.
And then this is from LIGO,
Interpretation.
the place where they did what was it, that thing where they had those people blind inject data in, and then the guys were about to release a whole peer review thing on it like 6 months later, and then the project head came out and was like, hey, by the way, it was just a test to see if we could like fool you guys. GG.
to like a simulation that became real, but is a simulation again. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, this $1 billion project that every once a year, it makes a shocking discovery proving Einstein's correct. Nice. Sounds like a solid investment for the American taxpayer.
Dickey's idea was intriguing, but it doesn't stand up to the latest evidence. And given that evidence, Dickey himself would surely agree. Okay, so maybe a variable speed.
Hey, you know what they haven't measured, Shane, which I find really interesting while they're on the subject of measuring concepts and space-time coordinate systems.
Ooh, can I guess?
Take it away.
is the Earth's orbital velocity around the sun?
It's Earth's orbital velocity around the sun. It actually,
It's tricky.
As it
right?
turns out, all interferometry and GPS proves that there's no orbital velocity to the Earth, so it's stationary. And you're not going to believe this, bro, but you know the coordinate frames, or the reference frames like I was talking about, and how they verify that there's speed of light's invariant? Turns out there's a preferred coordinate system reference frame to measure the speed of light in, and when you do that, guess what, dog? Varies consistently, and that variation is a directional effect. It's not due to a rotation explicitly shown by Wang in 2004 with the generalized Sagnac effect. Yeah.
So you're saying that after he linearized the Sagnac effect, they can no longer claim it's an effective rotation, alongside being no longer able to claim it's a relativistic effect. Now that is interesting.
Yeah, that's really interesting because the whole thing that this guy's talking about for the past 6 minutes as we've been watching, and my God, has it been a long 6 minutes? Actually, I'm almost convinced there may be time dilation, but it only applies when you're watching a stupid video that's trying to explain to you a bunch of nonsense that's covering up a bunch of lies. With that being said, I'd like to turn it back to this guy.
Speed of light doesn't explain all of gravity, but could it still play a part? There's one weird fact about our universe that could possibly be explained by this idea. If we look at the edge of the observable universe in that direction, we see a warm, smooth gas that existed before any stars or galaxies formed.
Dude, my man's about to... Dude, this is so hyper-specific to what I presented. Literally, he's about to tie in the CMB.
Yep.
The thing that's axially aligned with the sun's ecliptic.
I wonder if they saw Globebusters, man. What do you think?
100%.
It's an Alan reputation.
Dude.
Well, it is some of the best evidence, so they got to cover it up. They got to get ahead of it. You may have uncovered something that they're not prepared to refute yet.
No. I mean, dude, like, this is how bad the refutation is. It's just lies and no source citations, no fucking anything, just gloss over everything, say all the reference frames are verified. Like, we've
known it for 100 years.
We've known it.
It's the most verified effect ever. Don't worry about how, why, and when. Believe me.
Yeah, this guy was really smart, so we'll listen to his musings, even though, it's actually child's play because of how much we've measured the invariant speed of light. Yeah, right, bro. This is crazy, man.
We see exactly the same in that direction or that or that. The universe at early times was extremely homogeneous, almost the same density and temperature everywhere. That tells us that at some point in that distant past, all of that material had to have been in contact in order to distribute energy and settle into the same state. But the problem is, based on the observed rate of expansion of the universe, there just wasn't enough time since the Big Bang for those regions to have communicated with each other. We've talked about this so-called horizon problem previously, along with the mainstream solution of cosmic inflation. Inflation hypothesizes that at some very early time, those distant regions were in causal contact with each other, enabling them to share energy at regular light speed and reach the same temperature. But then, the universe underwent a period of extremely rapid expansion, much faster than the speed of light, before slowing dramatically. This threw apart regions that were once close enough to be in thermal equilibrium, so far apart that it appears now that they could never have been. But there is another way to bring those distant points into causal contact, and that's by having light move faster in the past.
Oh my God,
this
you're
could
so
have
far
kept
into
the
the
early
fucking
universe
weeds.
connected as it expanded and reached universe.
Yeah,
This is supposed to be. It's supposed to be about the invariant / variant speed of light, and he's like, "Yeah, but billions of years ago, we can hypothesize that perhaps maybe it was under these conditions, and we know that from this basic gas and the homogeneous distribution. But is it homogeneous? If it appears homogeneity only from the user's perspective while looking out, dude."
It's
what happened to the speed of light? What happened to the email? What happened to everyone who was testing this? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm gonna skip ahead to are these VLS theories testable and see what he says about the invariance. Because this is like he's just this is all just filler
There we go.
to dazzle people.
SL theories predict the
21
same
minutes
thing
of
as more
filler.
standard ideas of general relativity. Well, there's another way to look for changes in the speed of light, and that's via its effects on physics. C appears everywhere in our laws of physics. For example, in the fine structure constant, which defines the strength of electromagnetism. The formula for alpha includes the charge of the electron, the electric permittivity of the vacuum, Planck's constant, and the speed of light. We've talked about this important constant of nature in the past, and even about whether it may have changed over time. Well, if the speed of light has changed, then you'd expect the fine structure constant to change with it. And guess what?
Oh my god.
There is no evidence for
Oh
such
my
change.
god, this other math
my God.
equation that we use hasn't changed either? No way. And that's a verification. Wow.
And you can see our previous episode
Be right back. Alright, I'm back.
for that lack of evidence. None of this proves that the speed of light has never varied. It just says that it can't have varied much over the past billions of years. But the real challenge for VSL theories is how they seem to break physics. All VSL theories break Lorentz invariance, and Lorentz invariance seems pretty important for the
Oh my god. Bro. They broke Lorentz covariance. Like, dude.
It's,
This is
how do you vary something that's invariant?
Remember the example about the smoothie from the beginning of this video? In that example, you and I had a different interpretation of the same event, and yet we would both agree on every aspect that mattered, like the fact that the smoothie hits the floor at a particular location, or that it hits the floor after it's dropped rather than before it's dropped. The basic self-consistency of the universe and the causal ordering of events is ensured under Lorentz invariance. Break it, and it's pretty easy to come up with nonsensical scenarios in which different observers have irreconcilable disagreements about the outcomes of events. A variable speed of light also breaks the fundamental charge parity time or CPT symmetry of the universe, in that the laws of physics would look fundamentally different depending on which direction in time you're moving. We've discussed CPT symmetry before, and this is also problematic because CPT symmetry is believed to be truly fundamental, and we have no other
Guys, it's believed to be truly fundamental. So like if it doesn't work with this thing that other people believe in, then like we don't know what would happen. That's just so nuts, bro. They're acting like there would be some catastrophic failure, and it's like it's already variant and they just lied about it.
But they're doubling and tripling down to lie about it some more and just question the nature of reality. They haven't even asked what is light, though. They went right to the speed of light and these ridiculous, preposterous circumstances which they propose. Maybe it could vary, but definitely not the way Alan said it varies. That's kind of what I heard.
Yeah, exactly.
evidence of it breaking. There are some ways around some of these objections. For example, you could imagine that the change in the speed of light is not exactly fundamental, but more akin to how that speed changes in a dense medium like water. So what if the refractive index of the universe changes over time? Well, that supposed increase in the thickness of the vacuum.
What's the thickness of the vacuum? This just said that the vacuum has a refractive index, bro.
Yeah, he did. That also showing the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon album cover right now, which is kind of funny.
Would have to be pretty enormous in order to slow light by the factor of 10 to the power of 22 needed to solve the horizon problem. And
Vacuum
that change
thickness
would appear to affect all light speed waves equally, all frequencies of light, as well as gravitational waves. Regular materials don't behave like this. Still, it is a sort of way out. And there are some other narrow paths through the dense network of refutations of BSL theories. However, you need to be pretty committed to these ideas to find these ways out. Currently, there is no evidence that the speed of light varies in a fundamental way. And it may be that it's not even a meaningful concept.
No evidence.
Although that latter point depends on an understanding of the quantum nature of space and time and their relationship to each other that we don't yet have. It's absolutely worth going back and questioning the founding axioms of even our most successful theories, as long as we keep in mind that any new theory is going to have to do just as well or better than the old one in all of its predictions. And that takes all order when you're trying to break relativity.
But you'll have to come up with a replacement pseudoscientific bubble wrap of unfalsifiability if you want to get rid of it.
The undefeated challenger. Well, all laser interferometry and GPS falsifies general and special relativity. And there's the video link.
Surprised you didn't make it all caps.
Nah, because it'll just get auto-flagged.
Which has such deep internal consistency and is so powerfully predictive. But relativity is not the final theory due to its clash with quantum mechanics, so let's keep questioning it, including whether the cosmic speed limit is fixed or we can somehow change how fast information travels through space-time. So the
All you gotta
Dude,
use interferometry in a different direction to see the invariant speed.
oh my god, there's even that paper that Witsit has where the more amplification they apply to the thing that they're the signal that they're sending, they can get it to like go 4 times the speed of light. Have you seen that?
Yeah, there's all sorts of like. I guess maybe that's what this guy was saying was just some of the ways out. You have to be really dedicated to find some of the ways out because that's definitely like a fundamental principle breaking phenomenon that they just kind of wave and push under the rug.
Yeah.
Comment responses recently. Actually, we missed 6. It's my fault. There's been a lot going on, including too much travel. And these responses actually take a lot of thought on account of your really, really good questions. So today, we're going to go back and do responses for a selection of the missed episodes.
Someone asked them the question from your video, I bet.
We'll do one comment from each of these, but we're going to do each of those very fully. And we'll also do them completely out of order. We have the episode on superfluids, then the one about turning...
No, this is just I'm reading comments from other videos or something from like previous stuff. Yeah, they fully put this out as a response, dog.
Let's see how long it takes till some glober on Discord cites you this video with like a stupid. See, told you, Alan.
Oh, I mean, I'm surprised that well, it's only been an hour, but
that's what I'm saying. Let's see. Let's give it a week and we'll have a tally.
The fact that light travels in the same speed no matter what is incredibly amazing to me. Well, wait until you find out the truth. It actually varies dependent on the direction of propagation, east to west, being 14 microseconds faster.
Hey, did either of y'all hear Kosho yesterday in Earth Awakenings was saying that him and Jace were gonna come up with some kind of presentation to rebut all your stuff, Alan.
Nice, that'd be great.
That'd be hilarious. Hopefully they do better than
I
PBS
don't
did.
say nothing about this, and let's see if they try to bring this up in their. I mean, Kosho will never make a presentation, but they'll just talk about it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's funny that he acts like, oh, I'm going to do a presentation. Yeah, right.
Yeah, wait till you find out the truth, and it actually varies. Check out my channel. This place is way cooler than you think. All right. As I understood, about 1/3 of the information, yeah, it was meant to overload you and make you repeat the following. C is invariant for all observers. This way, you can know nothing about the subject, but still adhere the beliefs.
You want to see if he adds anything else besides other comments?
What on here?
Yeah, maybe he says something
into
else.
A spaceship, and the one about detecting planet-sized spaceships using LIGO, and finally the one about how terrible or awesome the next nearby supernova
Blah, blah,
looks like to be.
blah.